Good day and warm welcome to this meditation experience. My name is Judy, and we're delighted that you have joined. So, today, it's quite interesting, the topics roaming around in our heads at this time. We're coming up, I don't know when you might listen to this experience, but as I'm speaking it, we are on the cusp of a new year. And this uh, creates excitement in some and dread in others. But the idea of newness is in the term new year. And for myself, being involved in the fitness industry, this is an extremely interesting time of the year. Many have enthusiasm to embark on or reignite their wellness journey, and they have different approaches to that. And there's also those who have been on the journey their entire life. And what does this mean, newness? And there's actually a concept in the fitness realm that I think applies to life in general. This idea of getting stuck on a plateau. So you can imagine you're ascending up a mountain, and then you arrive at this flat place, this plateau, and you can kind of get stuck there and not quite sure how to keep ascending. Maybe you're tired, I don't know, but you kind of stay stuck there, and it probably is a lack of enthusiasm or energy. And this can actually be very difficult for someone's wellness journey or life in general, because they do start to get bored. They don't see the point anymore. They're losing this wonderful, vibrant relationship with whatever that might be, whether it's fitness or people or work, and how to keep ascending, how to not get stuck, not how to plateau at this point. And it's very interesting. The instinct is to try and go out there and get something new so people go shopping or whatever, try and get something new going on. And for myself, it's an odd thing. I actually go back to the origin. It's not that I actually go back down the hill. I bring the origin, the base camp up to the plateau, if you will. It's kind of recentering. And that helps me to vitalize, to remember what I love about all of this and to not be, because we can get a little sloppy or careless. So going back to the origin is also going back to the basics. So I am revisiting, renewing my vows, if you will, remembering why I'm in all of this, whether it's the work or the fitness or spirituality, but also refreshing the basics. Which seems an odd thing to do. It feels like going backwards, but it actually can be the mechanism to go forwards. So let's go into meditation and see if we can experience, visit some of these energies that can help me to get off the plateau. Sitting comfortably, quite frankly, we can even plateau in how we sit, how we physically sit. We do it countless times. But is it a accurate and powerful and energizing experience? So looking even at how I sit, back to the basics of sitting, the alignment of sitting. I should not be sort of surrendering to gravity, but actually very engaged, very upright, but without tension. Suddenly, I'm excited about learning how to sit again. So, sitting in an accurate way. And that act alone can bring me into a state of focus, being more aware. And taking that awareness, that attention, that focus inside to my inner alignment, my inner state. How am I sitting inside? Have I come to a complete standstill inside? Or is there lots of energy, excitement, enthusiasm? I look at the quality of my thoughts. I look at my attitudes. I look at my perspectives. I look at my feelings, all the invisible materials that make up my inner world. And I can sometimes neglect, allow that to go on automatic, checking just on a day-to-day basis, not when something important or urgent or even challenging comes up. But right now, what do I usually think about? Is my mind like a neglected garden overrun with the weeds of busyness? That can exhaust the soul and lead to getting stuck, literally running out of steam. Back to those original days, the kinds of thoughts I had when I started any endeavor. The newness, the novelty. And in spirituality, it was the wonder of discovering I am a soul. That wonder is not reserved for just the beginning of my spiritual journey. It's every single step, it's ongoing. It is the basis of constantly ascending, constantly this inner song or mantra, the wonder of the self, never becoming bored with the wonder of the self. The introduction of the self at the beginning is given in a surprisingly simple way. I am a soul. I am a point. I am eternal. I'm separate from the body. My home is silence. Very simple, but packed inside the point that is me is so much richness. The art of learning how to experience the richness and wonder of the self daily is essential. That can come through readings or reflections or even sharing with others. Creating a system for myself to constantly experience the wonder of I, not just I'm a soul, but what type of soul? What are my own unique qualities? What are my specialities? What has been my journey? What is left to develop in the self? Constantly returning to the basics, but with newness, new discoveries. And looking at my feelings as well. If my feelings become ordinary at best, but critical or negative at worst, I will definitely get stuck in the mud. Again, being very intentional, proactive, deliberate to keep my feelings in a beautiful place. Businesses talk about zero tolerance for abuse or negativity. In some ways, I need that atmosphere inside. Not in a violent way, but out of love for the self. Again, honoring the wonder of the self. The human soul has a heart that was built to have pure feelings, to appreciate, to celebrate, to see wonder. When I don't use my spiritual heart that way, it becomes diseased and disheartened. I could even suffer a spiritual heart attack. Really need to take care of my heart, my feelings, feelings towards the self, towards others, and towards situations. Not in a naive way, but in a mature way. Pure feelings are mature feelings. And my perspectives, does my vision ever become very, very microscopic, small, caught up in tiny details? Or am I very careful to maintain the big picture? Details pull me down, create heaviness and even hopelessness. When I stay in the big picture, I constantly see benefit, opportunity, purpose, solutions. Critical that I keep moving through staying in the big picture. Very much like when the astronaut goes to outer space and sees things in such a broad and beautiful way. Doesn't see all the tiny conflicts on the planet. It sees one single community of humanity. And that gives hope, ways to move forward. Taking such deep care of these invisible aspects of my inner world. Not just when things become challenging, but as a constant, consistent practice. Not just one day of the year, but every day of my life. So that when challenges come, I have a stock inside of powerful thoughts, feelings, perspectives, and attitudes. But more than that, I have a deep habit of being creative, the art of how to sustain myself, creative in newness, creative in sticking with the basics without getting bored, creative in how to celebrate the self and others. So creative in how I live day to day. Even if I go to the same work have the same routine, eat the same food, so creative, there's constant newness. The last thing I want to do is have an old relationship with myself. The art of how to keep moving, the art of being creative, the art of sustaining myself, the art of constant newness. Om Shanti.